That is so gross. How did you throw up after that? Or I guess you didn't swallow it, right?
I didn't swallow it, but I went to throw it away, and I missed the trash can, and the entire carton of milk bounces back, goes all over me, goes in my mouth, goes in my eyes, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh my gosh. So you were you far from your house?
Well, I keep a spare change of clothes with me at all times because I fall in
Okay.
water all the time when I'm shooting. But no, that shot was like 10 minutes from my house.
Do you have any of that on video?
No, somebody else has to do that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the BLIP podcast. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Josh Berg, your host, and today I have Chris Greene on with me. And if you don't know Chris, he is the flood insurance guru, or maybe just the flood guru. Chris, what do you go by now?
I kind of go by both. You know, some
By
people call me
both.
the flood guru, some call me the flood insurance guru. I
Nice.
kind of use the
Well,
flood guru for the hashtag, and our podcast is flood guru. So
okay. Well, dude, welcome back to the show. So I had you on a while ago and we were actually talking about flood, right? And so now Chris is on to talk about content, because I would say now you're probably best known for flood, but you're a close second known for content because you are pushing it out, man. So I'm excited to have you on again. So why don't we just get started? So you are building content for to basically kind of drive awareness or get people to know who you are for flood, right?
right.
Okay. And one of the crazy things you're doing right now is a video every day for a full year.
Yep. I think today is like day 229.
Okay. That's nuts, man. First of all, okay, so we'll get into this more, but so for the videos, what sort of videos are you posting? Long videos, short videos? What do they look like?
All my videos are usually 2 minutes or less.
Okay, so short videos.
They're short. They give a fact for that day or something that's currently going on. And what I do is if I get a call from a realtor, another insurance agent, a lender, maybe a building owner, when they call me, we take those questions and we write them down. And every week we go through those questions and we make videos out of them. And they were like, you know what, that's great for the video. Well, this will be good for a blog, or this will be good for a podcast. And so that's
Gotcha.
how we get all of our content.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So, well, I'll get to that later. But so you're creating a video a day, 2 minutes or less, around that time.
Yeah.
Where are you posting it?
I posted on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, The Flood Insurance Guru. I also put it on our LinkedIn account, and then I'll put put as many of them as I can on our website. I just try to be careful with it because I embed them and I don't want to slow down our website too much.
Okay. So hold on. What you just said, embedding it slows down your website?
Well, if you put like 100, if you embed 100 videos on your website compared to just putting the link on there, it can
Oh,
slow
yeah.
down your traffic.
Gotcha. Okay. So what number did you say you were on right now?
I think today is 229.
229. Man. And okay. So am I accurate in saying that if I think I know this right, that you actually go on like scene, like you go to a place almost every day and shoot that video?
Yeah, I'll shoot in a different place. For example, I was in Oklahoma about 6 weeks ago. And so I
Okay.
shot a bunch of content for Tulsa, Oklahoma. Then I was in Kansas City the same week. I shot content in Kansas City. I was in Omaha the same week, shot content there. Then I drove up to Des Moines and shot content there. And I use all that content too when they're having changes in those areas. I already have those videos made. But then
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens is people say, he's in my area, he's in my hometown. I can relate more to him. I know he's not in front of a green screen. He's traveling halfway across the country to make sure we have this information in front of us.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you touched about this. You have a podcast too now, right?
Yep.
And
Started a podcast a couple months ago.
Dude, and how often are you putting those out?
Well, I've only done 15 episodes, but starting today, I committed to 85 more episodes for the year. So I'm basically doing an episode a day now for the rest of the year.
Okay. And what's that called? The Flood Guru?
It's called the Flood Guru, but you also have to remember, like, my podcast is not like most people's podcasts. It's not like an interview. It's not, 30 minutes. It's usually, every podcast is usually 5 to 10 minutes. Like today's was, that I'm getting ready, I'll publish tonight, was the FHA loan pushback on private flood. So what I did is I did a podcast for it, took the podcast, I put it into a blog, and I'll take today's video and I'll match it up with that. So now I've got a podcast, a video, and a blog all within the same subject matter for one day.
That's what I was going to actually get to that and ask you, are you creating separate content for each format, or are you just using the same kind of piece and splitting it up? So
no, like what I, until this point, my goal was, hey, I wanted one video a day. I wanted one podcast a week. And then I wanted to do 3 different types of blogs for each week. I wanted to do one that related to flood map updates. I want to do one maybe that relates to one of our videos, and then one that's completely separate.
Yeah.
And so what I've done now is on our website, I've broken it down now. So basically we have 3 separate blog sites. We have our podcast, we have our Flood Guru blog, and then we just have flood map updates.
Okay. So the blog, do you have any sort of video or audio component to that, or is it strictly text?
No, I usually all of my blogs usually have at least one video in them.
So do you do a separate video for the blog, or is it, it's the flood that you've already done? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I use that from a Google standpoint so that Google can see the text form. And so now Google is giving us better ranking when it comes to our videos and more views, because they're seeing it on YouTube. They're seeing it on the website. So now they're seeing us as more relevant because of the amount of information we're providing.
So what's the main point behind all the content? Like, so actually, before we get into that question, can you take us back to, say, I don't know, a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Had you really probably at that point had not put out any content?
No, I had not. And then, this year, I had my P&C agency, which is Community First, which is still the LLC name I use. But then I added the DBA, the Flood Insurance Guru, but there was no education outside the coast. So I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of not just answering these questions, but people getting in situations and saying, you know what? I didn't know anything because the information wasn't out there. It's like, I'm going to commit to one video a day, just putting something education out there. It's not salesy at all, just so that we can put the awareness out there. But then what happened was all these videos started coming along. Hey, why don't you do a blog? Or you know what? Google is not giving us as good of a ranking because we're not providing text. So let's start providing a text. And then it was like, I'd love to read it. I just don't have time. All right. So then that's where it came to podcasts. Or then I was like, hey, where can I go to get questions answered? So then I started a nationwide flood education group, and I answer flood questions every day on Facebook and LinkedIn. And so it just kept getting deeper and deeper.
How much time do you spend every day on creating content?
I spend most of my day on creating content.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I feel that that's where my need is the most, is that I can provide that content because of my educational background. And that's what people are seeking the most. Having someone put data in for me is really what I need, because they can't create that content like I can. I could have them write a blog, but they can't do it with the right expertise.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So if you have staff, are you going to hand some of that stuff off at some point, so they can write a blog? So you're not responsible for 100% of it, or get on video, or do the podcast or something.
No, I'll do all that. No, that will always be me, because that's my passion, is the education part. And I just want them to take, just like I don't want a producer, I just want our CSR and our VA to take care of all the small stuff. And then let me handle the content. Let me handle these big flood cases where people are, are not sure what to do. You just get the information in the system. So I have all the information in front of me, so that when I'm reviewing everything, I have everything I need in front of me, and I don't have to go chase anything down.
Yeah, man. Dude, that is so, who is editing and putting together all of the content? Like, I'm sure there's probably like, you cut it all and fix it and whatever. That's probably why
I do an iMovie though. My videos every day take me less than 5 minutes to make and edit.
Oh, wow.
Because they're only 2 minutes. We're not talking about 30-minute video.
Yeah, true.
Like I did one last week of drinking spoiled milk.
Dude, okay. First of all, let's talk about this one. I saw that video, and I knew from other posts you had done that you truly were drinking spoiled milk. But in the video, I wasn't like 100% spoiled milk, and then you took a drink, and then you spit it out, and I'm like, that could have been not spoiled milk, but it was spoiled milk.
Yeah.
Dude, that is so gross. How Did you throw up after that? Or I guess you didn't swallow it, right?
I didn't swallow it, but I went to throw it away, and I missed the trash can, and the entire carton of milk bounces back, goes all over me, goes in my mouth, goes in my eyes, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh my gosh. So you were you far from your house?
Well, I keep a spare change of clothes with me at all times because I fall in
Okay.
water all the time when I'm shooting. But no, that shot was like 10 minutes from my house.
Do you have any of that on video?
No, somebody else asked me that. I should have at least taken a selfie, and you could have seen milk all over me.
Oh man. Oh. All right. Well, way to commit to that one, dude. Wow. So with all the content you're putting out, do you feel is it tailored more to people who would refer you flood clients, or is it tailored more to the individual themselves, or just the content out there? Anybody really, it'd be good for anybody.
Kind of the content out there is good for everybody. Someone who's seeking the answer to that question. Yeah, it started out where we did a lot with insurance agents, but now we're answering all these flood questions. But we're also doing a video on every single flood map update across the entire country for property owners. Last week I committed to I think 5 videos and 4 different blogs for Galveston, Texas, because we had 100,000 property owners that were being moved into a high-risk flood zone. Well, the problem is nobody was really putting content out there. Nobody knew what to do. And so what happened is when the flood map changes, all of our content is already there. And it has been for 4 or 5 months because we got a copy of the map 6 months in advance.
So when you talk about flood insurance, right? And my thought behind this, because I know Arizona is like one of the biggest, flood areas or whatever, but in reality, we don't deal with flood insurance that much. And our other office in Washington, and there's almost no flood zones up there. So when I think of flood insurance, I think very rare do we ever deal with it. People aren't interested in it, that sort of thing. But right now it's hitting me that there are these areas like in Texas where the flood maps change and people are probably seeing crazy rate increases, and they're getting probably notices with their annual renewals that, hey, your rate's going up, thousands because we're changing your rate. And same thing I would do as they would do is probably go straight to Google and try to figure out what's going on. So that totally makes sense, because up to this point I've been like, yeah, Chris puts out a lot of content on this super boring subject of flood insurance. It's the same thing I think about, if I put out content on, a liability claim or something, it's just boring to most people, but it's truly not. It's truly needed. So I don't know why it took me so long to actually think that there's people that actually would.
I try to have fun with it. One, I dressed up as a grandfather. One, I shot a video on a mattress that Facebook shut me down for because the title of the video was "How firm are you?"
I remember that.
Talking about pre-firm and post-firm. So I try to have a little bit of fun with it. Do this different stuff.
Dude, okay, so you said that you get your content from just questions people ask.
Yeah.
Right?
For example, last week I got 8 questions from 8 different insurance agents that said, hey, these banks won't accept FHA, private flood and FHA. What do I do? What do I do? So today I did a blog on it, a podcast, and I'll shoot a video this afternoon on it called the FHA pushback on private flood. What can I do?
And so with all that content you're putting out, have you seen any growth or new business or anything come as a result of it? Because that's a ton of time you're spending.
I have about 5 leads that come on my desk every day that come strictly from our content across the country.
Really? That is.
It'll automatically come in, and our average customer is 1,500 miles away. Last week, one came in from Texas, one came in from Louisiana over the weekend, another one came in from Ohio, and this morning, Minnesota.
And are these primarily individuals who see your content?
Yep. They're individuals, and they read the blog or they see the video, and either they call us. Last week, I sold a policy off YouTube in South Carolina for a guy that filmed one of our videos.
Yeah, dude. So my
whole goal is that, you know what? I can run a specialized flood insurance company with almost no overhead because I'm generating my own leads, and I'm not even paying that much. I'm not really paying much for it at all.
Yeah.
But I'm always going to have that exclusive audience because of the value that I'm providing through the content. That I'm not going to have to depend on, hey, State Farm changes their guidelines and we can't send you business anymore.
Yeah. Do you worry about running out of content? That's something that
I worry about that every day.
Yeah. Do you have like a list of items you haven't covered yet that you can just pull from, or are you just like every day getting something new?
No, like I go to LinkedIn, I search flood insurance, I see what the current issues are going on with FEMA. I'm all these different groups, and I go through there and I search there and I pull off my content out.
Yeah. Well, this is a really intriguing
I thought I would have run out
topic.
of content after 10 days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for sure. I thought the same thing when I started, but it's like, it's intriguing to me because I think that's one of the things that keeps people from starting certain things like you're doing, is because of the content issue. It's like, I wouldn't say it's scary, but it's daunting. I mean,
Mhm.
there's like 365 topics. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, how in
Yeah.
the world are you going to cover 365 different topics? But, each broad topic probably has about 50 micro topics
Yeah.
in it, right? And so you
Yep.
just have to, I like the way you're doing short, like valuable snippets of something that's like currently happening. That's cool.
Especially if it's a realtor or somebody, after 2 minutes, you lose their attention.
Oh, dude, not even
But
just a
now,
realtor, like anybody,
now
right?
what we've started to do is our CSR or VAs. Now, I took all those videos with HubSpot and I turned them into knowledge-based snippets. And so now they can search snippets when they send an email to a customer and say, hey, check this article out, when it's really just a video. What
Okay.
flood zone am I in? And so what happens is it's sending all of our views up as well, which is helping more people find us. And at the same time, we're providing that education value to those customers.
No. Do you, um, do you
The
feel
coolest
like,
thing is when you're writing a blog and you get to reference back to 20 of your own other blogs inside that one blog.
does that actually help your SEO?
It's helping my views. I can tell you that much. Like when I go back and look at HubSpot, I can look at my blog views, and like I had 50 views like 2 days ago on a subject matter 6 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just random.
That's awesome. It's got to be, because one of the things with SEO is how long do people stay on your site, right? So they're
It
not
tells
bored.
me how long they stay on my site. It tells me
Yeah.
where they entered it, the amount of seconds. I've got one on there where they're on my site 9 minutes. I
Wow.
mean, that's incredible for any site. I was like,
It
what are
must
you
have
doing on our site for
been
9 minutes?
video.
So I don't know.
You got 50 hits on that mattress video from the same person watching it over and over.
Like the milk video had 500 views in like 2 days on Facebook.
Oh, really?
And I didn't even
Wow.
do, I mean, I didn't like, sponsor it or anything.
Yeah. Wow. Um,
That's the other thing
so
I've gotten into though. It's like thumbnails with Adobe Spark that I think has helped a lot is too. Nicholas Ayers turned me on to Adobe Spark and I love it now.
yeah, dude, I haven't gotten into Spark. I need to check that out. I use all the other Adobe products, but
I use it for all of my thumbnails on my YouTube videos and everything now.
really, I've always
Takes
just
me
done,
2 minutes.
I've always done my thumbnails in Photoshop, but it takes a while,
Yeah. Now I use the same project and I'll just remove the photo and add the next one, or I'll
Oh,
change the way the words look.
yeah, yeah. I'll have to check that out. So what do you think is going to happen when you hit 365 days on your videos? Are you going to stop?
No, my ultimate goal is 500 and 500 days. But, I got to get 65 years.
500 and 500? Dude.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. But the other thing is going to be like, look, people are talking about us and we're not paying for it.
Yeah, right.
And so that's the whole thing is that, hey, we just want to start. Like, I was wearing my shirt the other day in a restaurant. This guy started telling me his flood story. And I said, look, I got the shirt and the hat because it just starts the conversation.
Yeah.
Everybody sees it and then they start talking about it. So that's the whole point, is just to start the conversation. And that was
Yeah.
the whole point of the content. It's like, look, we want to have the conversation, but nobody else wants to have it with us.
I love wearing Blue Lion gear because it doesn't start any conversations usually. Actually, it does start conversations. People like the logo and they'll be like, oh, they think it's I don't know, some other brand. It's not my insurance company. But anyway,
Yeah.
I love it because I don't have to think about what I'm going to wear in the morning. Just like grab something with line on it and let's go. Like I don't have to be concerned with, these pants, whatever. Anyway.
That's a great thing, is I have a whole closet full of just Flood Guru t-shirts now.
Oh yeah, man. It's great. So, 500 and 500.
I would, yeah, I mean, that would be my ultimate goal. Yeah, but I'm also realistic. Like, hey, let's get to 365 first, and let's look at it.
And then do you think that when you get close to 500, your next goal will be like 1,000? Do you think you're just going to keep going?
I would like to keep going, but at the same time, I'm also going to probably cut it back at that point to maybe 3 or 4 videos a week.
Yeah, that's a ton.
Because I don't want to just put content out to put content out. I want it to be valuable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you would have
Because
covered all.
maybe Google starts hurting you.
Yeah, maybe if people aren't liking what you're putting out. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about, I mean, so one of the things with this podcast that I started doing is when I started it, I took a long time to actually start it because I never, like, in my own mind, there is no end date. Like when I started, I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm committing to this for the rest of my life. You know, like I'm going to have to do a show a week for the rest of my life. And still, I don't have like an end date in mind, you know, I'll see how long it goes. But for you, if you get to that 500, and if you, like, how many podcasts are you going to do? Do you know?
Well, originally I was only going to do 10. I was like, I just want to do 10 basic episodes. And then if stuff comes up, just add it. Well, now with all the flood map updates, I could literally do a podcast on every flood map update and have 200 episodes a year.
And then you have the blog as well.
Yep.
I mean, do you feel like at some point it's going to be too much that you're going to have to shift your focus a little bit?
No, because I'm doing. If I was like focused in like property insurance and all this stuff, yes. But I think with it being just flood, no.
I love that.
Because what happens is not only do the blogs generate business for flood insurance, but we do flood zone changes across the country now. We do consulting fees. We help people to get premiums back from 5 years ago from FEMA. Then we take consulting fees out of that. So those blogs are generating all that different business for us now.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, we do all. Like I've got a veteran right now, and I didn't charge him this time. But we just got him $1,800 back from FEMA because from his bank, Wells Fargo, because they misrated his policy 10 months ago. And so we caught it the day before the qualifications would have expired.
I love that. So I have a friend of mine who started a company that what they do is, you get a tax assessment on your home every year. And in certain areas, it might go up significantly when the actual value on your home did not increase that much. And his company will, like, you basically pay them a flat fee. And if they can get it fixed for you, great. If not, they refund you that money.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing we do in the flood zone changes.
Dude, that could be where all your money comes from in the future. I mean, the insurance is great.
It won't be residual. The insurance will be great. But as I said, the insurance will just be a third of it. Then you've got the flood education, where, we were charging for the flood education, but we're not right now because by not charging for it, we can get more exposure.
Yeah. Man, well, what for somebody who's thinking of starting to do something like a video or podcast or blog or whatever, like, that's worried about the content, what would you tell them?
Don't just do it. Like if you run out of content, great. Guess what? You put 5 or 10 episodes out there, or 5 or 10 videos. Guess what? That's better than zero.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the content, and the biggest thing you can do with the content is when somebody calls you and asks you a question, write it down. And that's where all your content's going to come from.
Carrie says that too, right? Like Carrie Gallows Reynolds, same thing.
I talked to her a lot about blogging. She's helped me a lot with blogging.
Oh yeah. There's
another thing called Pro Blogger podcast that I've learned a lot from as well.
Okay.
He did a 30-day challenge back in 2015 where it was 30 days to a better podcast. And so he takes you through this 30-day challenge and just teaches you different things.
Mm-hmm. So was there, Ryan Hanley?
Yep.
He did what? Like he talked about when he did like 100 videos in 100 days. Was there, and then Mike Crowley did like what, 180 in 180 days?
Did he? I thought he just did 100. No, he did 101. He did 101 to beat Hanley.
101. So I was going to ask you, did this 365-day thing, was there any sort of like, I'm going to one-up these guys? Or were you just doing
No, it was just like, I just want to do a video a day for the year. How cool would that be? At the end of the year, so man, he actually did a video a day.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that.
No, man, that's nuts. So do you
especially
like,
on flood. I mean, come on now.
right. Are you,
But
do you have like,
what's cool is like LinkedIn now. All these people from FEMA are reaching out to us and saying,
oh,
"Hey,
interesting.
can we help contribute to your content?"
Uh-huh. Do you, uh, do you never get sick or what? How do you like keep going?
Well, I keep a couple videos ahead of time, like in my back pocket in case
Okay.
something happens to my computer or something like that.
Oh,
And so I
nice.
always usually keep one or two in there just in case.
Got
If I
it.
had to use them, I've got them.
Got it. That makes sense.
On Mondays, I usually shoot a lot of different content for the week. Shoot a lot of different podcasts, and I might spend all the way until lunch on Monday shooting my content for that week.
Wow. Um, so aside from the content piece, like how are there places you go to learn more about like SEO, or I mean, you mentioned that one blog podcast, but like for people to get their most return out of the content they're putting out, is there, I mean, any advice for somebody in that area?
I listen to like 140 different podcasts a week. I'm in all these different Facebook groups, but one of them is called Film School for Marketers. And
Okay.
that's really helped me on top of Nick's course. That's really helped me with video.
Okay.
Impact Live, it's called Impact Elite, which is done by HubSpot. It's a consulting firm. They do a lot of different marketing stuff because where I'm actually spending most of my time learning now is inbound marketing. I mean, that's where I'm spending most of my time because that's where I'm doing most of.
Yeah.
I didn't have a goal to get into inbound marketing; it just kind of happened by accident. But that's
Yeah.
what I'm spending a lot of time learning now.
Nice.
That,
Man.
and of course, the automation stuff that I'm so deep into, like automatically uploading stuff to insurance carriers without having to touch a button now because they gave me an email address.
Yeah. I love it, man. Anything else? Anything you want to add on this?
Let's see. We have the podcast, the blog, and the video. So put the content out there.
Yeah. You think Facebook is
Yeah.
the best place for somebody to start putting content out?
I don't know if Facebook's been really good to me, and I haven't really spent any money on it because people are just sharing our content like crazy. But YouTube is great
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
here's like I tell people with Facebook, people are get on there because they want to be lazy. People go on YouTube because they want to get a question to an answer. Get an answer to a question. Well, if you can be that solution, then you're gonna could have leads coming like crazy.
Yep.
Like I use a tool that Nick turned me on to, and what I do is I pay monthly for the service, and it tells me what people are searching for in every single city. So when I do my videos, I take those tags and I use them on YouTube. Well, then I take those tags and I use them on Facebook as well, because Facebook is moving more towards a search engine optimization tool.
Okay.
And so when people search those words on Facebook, then they find our videos as well.
So you're just doing like a hashtag at the bottom of your.
I'll do like 20 different hashtags. And we have people in Rhode Island that find us in Georgia.
What tool is it?
It's called keywordtool.io.
Keywordtool.io. Got it.
Now, there's a free one too called Uber Suggest. It just doesn't go as deep. Like this tells me what people are paying per click. This tells me what your competitors are doing, all that stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
And I actually
man.
use the same tool to help a lot of our realtors with their marketing on YouTube.
Okay. I love
where
it.
they can put those keywords and all that stuff in. So, but I'm not real sure where the content's going to go because it was never really the plan. Like I tell people, look, building a national brand was never the plan.
Right.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah. I can't even.
But I still don't have this goal of having this huge team either. But if I use automation the right way and I use my VAs the right way, I won't have to worry about it.
Being licensed in the amount of states you're licensed in, that to me is nuts.
Dude, let me tell you, forget like Massachusetts alone cost me $400 a year.
Oh yeah. Isn't Colorado like $800?
No, my Colorado was cheap. Massachusetts was the most expensive.
Really?
Hawaii was pretty cheap. Alaska was cheap.
Man.
So
Hawaii's
my
got
next move is Canada.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Canada has a completely different flood program, like the way it's standardized into the property products and all this. But there's just so much area that's melting up there, like glacier wise and everything else. They're having a lot of issues that we'll start pushing a lot of content up to Canada soon.
Chris, I feel like you are one of the smartest people I know. in insurance and marketing because of the direction that you've taken this thing. I mean, I said it the first time we talked, it's like, it's freaking genius, man. Like keep
Jason
it up.
Tess said to me when I did his podcast, he said, look, something's going to happen and you're going to have to make a decision. I said, well, what's that? He said, you're going to generate all these revenue streams by accident. You're going to have to figure out which ones you want to go down and which ones you don't.
Right.
I mean, he was right. It just kind of happened, you know?
Yeah. Or grow your team, like bring on people to manage that certain specific stream or whatever. But man, love it. All right, dude. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I appreciate it. Everybody who's listening, Chris Greene, flood insurance guru, reach out to him. You cannot not find him. You just do a search for the flood insurance guru, you will find him. And if you have not subscribed to this podcast, please do so. Leave a comment or a review. Really helps us out. Chris, what are you going to say?
Flood insurance guru, keeping people dry every day.
I love it. All right, man. Thank you.
I will tell you a quick tool for your audience, though. Search your company name and see how many people are searching you on YouTube every month.
Okay.
I do that with our company every day.
How do you do that?
Just like that keyword tool. You put in that keyword, like I put in flood insurance guru, and it tells me that, hey, 100 people searched for you last month.
Nice. Love it. All right. Well, I'll put links to all this in the show notes. Yeah. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right, bye.